you guys like lifestyle, beauty, if you guys like mental health, chats with Lisi, vlogs, DIYs, if you guys like that, pretty much everything, stay tuned and definitely hit that subscribe button. You will love it here because keep it lit over here, okay? Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this video. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Such a long time since I've done that, and it feels so great to just do that again because yeah. This is Chats with Lisi. Time to time I will come on here and just give my discretion and just talk chats with Lisi. That's usually every couple of months because it takes a lot of time, a lot of research, a lot of dedication. It's not an overnight thing, so make it time for yourself. So this is a great topic because a lot of people do not make time for themselves, especially in this day and age, in this society, in this world. We have a lot going on in this world. We have inflation, we got political issues, racial issues, mental issues. A lot of things have just been accumulating over time, and it seems like more and more as stuff becomes more crazy in this world, as stuff becomes more busy, and as everything becomes more hectic, we tend to have less time for ourselves, which is not good because that affects us mentally. We will start to plummet down and we won't give ourselves 100%. And then not giving ourselves 100%, we won't reciprocate that energy, giving 100% or giving the best that we can to other people as well around us. So I would like to start off because y'all know I got my iPad here, and so if I'm looking down, because I always write my notes on my iPad when I'm doing chats with Lisi. And one thing I want to talk about is being your own light. Not letting somebody control your light. A lot of times when we shine our light on other things or we give our light to somebody else, we're not making time for ourselves. You start to hang out with that person a lot, you're starting to hang out with that group of people a lot, whatever the case might be, or something is taking a hold of your attention a lot. You can give that light to somebody or something. They can have control of your light to the point that you're not being able to have decision making over your own life, and you're not being really held accountable for yourself and having that, I guess, responsibility for yourself, and you're letting somebody else or something take that light. And that is so big and prevalent because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that a lot, but it's so easy to just be hanging out with somebody repetitively or hanging out with a group of people repetitively, having that thing or person take your attention so much that it's draining you and you're no longer making time for yourself. Therefore, they have the light and they can determine when to turn that light on and off. So they have control of your life, basically is what I'm referring to when I mention light. Which is not good, because then you're having less time for yourself. Whatever you say yes to, you're saying no to another, and whatever you say no to, you're saying yes to another. So keep that in mind when you're making time for people or you're making time for something. Whatever you're saying yes to, you're saying no to another. Big one. It's okay to isolate from time to time. I feel like social media puts that dictation and that huge overview of always having to go outside and always having to go out and hang out with people. It's okay to have solitude. It's okay to isolate yourself and spend time for yourself. Don't let social media people or things of this world tell you otherwise. You're not a loner, you're not a weirdo, you're not crazy. It's okay to isolate and spend time with yourself. Everybody needs that. A whole day even. Even that's absurd to a lot of people's schedules, their everyday schedules. I get that, but sometimes it's needed to spend a whole day, especially in this crazy world. Cut out the noise. And I know it's harder said than done. Best believe, trust me, I know. But it can be done. So much noise and distractions keeps us from having time to ourselves. It keeps us from really getting to know ourselves and learn more about ourselves, learn more about our gifts, learn more about what makes us happy, learn more about our love languages, learn more about our hobbies. And I'm not saying that you can't hang out with people, But I'm saying that you know yourself enough, or you should. If not, you need to get to know yourself enough of when it's time to break away and have solitude and isolate yourself, because making time for yourself is essential. And I'll later go into why it's even more essential later in this video. With that being said, you have a choice. You have a choice. We always have free will in this world, and free will can be a pain or it can be a gain. And one thing I have to keep resonating with myself is, do I want to choose peace or do I want to choose agony? Which agony leads to depression. Peace within myself leads to better solitude, leads to being okay with being by myself. It's not weird, it's not awkward, it doesn't force me to have to hang out with somebody else, because I'm okay with my own space. I'm okay with my own self. A lot of times when we hang out so much and we spending time with something that's not really benefiting you in a good way, that can also lead to quickness of agony and depression. Because if you're spending time with someone or something and they're not benefiting your life, it's not reflecting back on you in a good way, what's the point? That's definitely not making time for yourself. That's agonizing yourself. That's making things worse for yourself. And you want to have peace within. You don't want to get beside and get depressed, because that'll lead to suicide. That'll lead to suicidal thoughts. That'll lead to just doing unwanted stuff that you don't want to do, harming your body, doing craziness that you had no business doing. And that's why suicide rates are so high, because I feel like people don't spend time with themselves and they rely so much on other people, and you know other people is going to continuously let us down. I'm not saying they're going to continuously let us down on a day-to-day basis, but nobody's perfect, and everybody has their own problems. Everybody has their own things that they're going through as well. So you cannot solely rely on people to fulfill that peace that you need within. You cannot rely on people to continue to feel that happiness, that joy. You have to have joy and the fruits of the spirit within, okay? And you won't go down the path of suicide. As I was saying, I personally feel like a major key into suicide rates going higher is because people rely too much on social media and other people way too much when it comes to fulfilling the void in themselves. And another thing I want to say, side note, is if you have trauma and you are an adult, you need to go fix that trauma. You cannot keep just moving on physically from that trauma and thinking that it's just gonna go away. It's not gonna go away. You're gonna take that trauma with you in your next relationship. You're gonna take that trauma with you in your next situation, into your next stage of life, and it's only gonna get worse. It's gonna catch up to you, and you're gonna have to deal with it. Because if not, you're gonna ruin some blessings in the future, or blessings cultivating within your surroundings, because you haven't finished the healing and dealing with your trauma. Wherever that trauma is rooted from, that is making time for yourself, going back and healing from that. That's the first step of making time for yourself, because you cannot keep just having trauma on your shoulders and thinking that, oh, I'm no longer talking to that person, or I'm no longer in that situation anymore, so I'm Gucci. Because I promise you, if somebody were to bring up something from that trauma that they didn't know was trauma, but you know it's trauma to you, you would get triggered. Because you haven't healed. And y'all, healing is like the #1 thing. Peace, healing, having joy, having the fruits of the spirit, those are the things that helps with making time for yourself. You can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna isolate myself and then that's it. And then I'm gonna go back out whenever I feel like it. Like, no, when you're isolating yourself, you have to be actually taking the steps to make time for yourself. Like, you can't just say like, okay, great, I'm gonna isolate myself. I'm not gonna talk to nobody because nobody ain't got my back, whatever the case might be. And I'm gonna hibernate, I'm gonna grind, and then I'm gonna come back out, pop out whenever I feel like it. Like, no, that's not how it works. You need to deal with whatever is making you feel the type of way that you're feeling, or whenever somebody brings up that word, it triggers you. You need to deal with that. You need to heal with that. We are too old as adults, y'all, to not be dealing with our trauma. And they have so much trauma that they did not deal and heal from, that it messes up their mindset and way of thinking. And you're thinking to themselves like, dang, I wonder how they would think if they would have just dealt with that trauma. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't even realize that it's the trauma that's making them think that way. That is the trauma that's making them act that way. A lot of people don't, believe it or not. So with that being said, like, making time for yourself is essential. You don't want to go on the dark side. I'm telling you, it's not a good sign. Like, nobody wants to wake up feeling depressed. Nobody wants to wake up feeling angry. Nobody wants to wake up feeling sad and miserable. Heal within. Find peace and happiness within. Find joy within. Have the fruits of the spirit within. Learn your hobbies, learn your goals, learn your gifts and talents, and you will be okay. And it takes time. It's not an overnight thing. It's not a one isolate or a week isolation thing. It takes time. But in due time, it will make you a better person. Also make better people on this earth if we all were to practice this. Jesus did not come into our lives to be a resident. He came to be a fulfillment in you. He came to be that peace in you, that joy in you, that love in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not alone. You're not alone. Making time for yourself is essential, y'all. It is a serious topic. It's serious things. And you don't want this outside noise and distractions and being outside to take over that, because I promise you, yes, you're having fun in the moment. Yes, you're having fun for the week. Yes, you're having fun for the month. But baby, it's gonna catch up to you. It's gonna catch up to you real hard. And you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, dang, I wish I would have dealt with that. I wish I would have dealt with what was going on with me then. Because now it's harder, you know, because I done went through so much more stuff that it's becoming harder. And I'm getting older and I have way more responsibilities that it's getting harder for me to deal. But it is possible to heal from your trauma. It is possible to forgive. It is possible to have peace within. It is possible to have happiness within. It is possible. And that all starts with just making time for yourself, sitting down and really writing out or establishing what's going on with me. Am I okay mentally? Am I okay emotionally? And then of course, am I okay physically? And that will determine if you are seriously making time for yourself or not. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to keep it short and simple. Please do not have people control your light. Don't give your light to somebody else, please, because I'm telling you, when they let you down miserably, which they will do because people are not perfect, you are going to be hurting to the core. And you're going to be wondering, who am I? What am I doing? What is my purpose? And we all have a purpose on this earth. Sit down, evaluate yourself, and make time.